Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we will try to create one full stack app with the MERN stack. So let me just give the name as a blog website. So I will create one blog website. I will open this with the help of the code, and inside of this we will have the front end and the back end. So first of all, I will create back end, and I will go inside of the back end. And I will directly change my directory to the backend, and instead of the backend I will do npm init and I will hit enter. Okay, you can give the name of the packages, or you can just directly click on keep on hitting the enter key, and just keep on hitting the enter key, and yeah, done. So now inside of our backend we have this package.json file, and our main entry point is basically the index.js. Okay, so over here we can give the index.js or server.js, whatever that is. So then we have this script part. So inside of the script I will write a little bit of code over here. My start will be basically node. I will start with the node, and name of the file which I will give over here is index.js. That's done. And then for a dev I will make use of the node one, and I will say node.js. Okay, so this is basically the script. When I will run npm run dev, this node one will run my index.js file. So inside of this I will create one more file known as the index.js. This is our entry point. Uh, so now inside of this index.js, we will write our backend code. So now if I go to my index.js, first of all, there are some of the packages which I will import. First is Express, which will make use of. I will say import Express from Express. So over here, I have made use of the import statement. I have written the code like import express from the express. This is basically the syntax of the ES6. So for that purpose, you have to define the type as module over here. So I will come, and I will say something like type and give the value as module. As long as we are not doing this, our code won't be running. So now I will go inside of my index.js, and inside the index.js there are some of the other packages which I will import in the future. But as of now, what I will do, I will create an instance of app. I will say concept app is equal to express. Okay, and now I will see whether my app is running or not. So I will say app dot listen, and I will say console dot log. Server is running on the port 3000 as of now. Let me just give it port as a 5000 over here, and I want my port. So I will say constant port is equal to process.env.port, or I will take the default port as 5000 over here, and I will give the value of the port inside of the app.listen. Okay, so over here I will give my or define my port. So now my app will listen on the port 5000, and if I have defined any port in my env file, it will take that port. If not, it will take the port, this port. Okay, so now I'll say npm run dev. Okay, so node 1 is not recognized. So over here I have made use of the node 1. Node 1 package is required. So I will say npm run node 1 because this package is required. So there are many ways in which we can run the backend code with the node. So I can, instead of doing the npm run dev, I can do something like node index.js. Okay, so this should also work fine. But now I'm getting one error. Express. Okay, so I have to do something like npm I express. I have made use of the Express package over here. I have to install that as well. So that's why it was showing error. So whatever packages we make use of, we have to keep on installing them, and whatever packages we install, those have been stored inside of this node modules. Let's just wait for a while, as long as this is not getting installed. Okay, so now it has been installed. I can run the code like this also, like node index.js, directly giving the name of the file. Now it is saying the server is running on the port 5000, or I can run this command also, npm run dev. So now when I'm running this npm run dev, what is actually happening over here, it will trigger this command. Instead of running the code with the node index.js, it is making use of the node one. So the thing with the node one is that even if the server crashes, it will rerun it when we are saving the file. Okay, so it is always a good practice to make use of the node one instead of the node. So now let's just get started. So these are some of this is really very basic code of Node, and we will keep on adding the code to this. So now when it comes to the code structure of the backend, there are some of the things which I would like to add over here. So when it comes to the backend code, it let me just show you the folder structure. So it contains of the models, and again it will contain the middleware, and after that we have the routes, and if required we can also add .env file, which is always which is required and important, but as a beginner I thought I would not show this, but let's just add it anyways. So we have the env file as well. Okay, so now I will do one thing. I will import some of the packages which we will be making use of. So let me just import anyways. I will make use of the body parser, and I will import this from body parser only. Then I will make use of mongoose, because we will be making use of the MongoDB, and I will make use of the .env from .env, and I will also make use of the cores from cores. Okay, so these are some of the packages which we'll make use of. Now, as soon as I hit the save button, my backend is crashed because it is not able to identify these packages because this has not been installed. Okay, so what I will do, I will do npm I, and I will install all these packages at once. I will directly add all these packages because these are required. So at you can install one package one at a time, or you can install the multiple packages like this. And whatever packages you install, you will be able to see them inside of these dependencies. Okay, Express and Mongoose, which I have already installed, which are already there, and now these four packages which I am installing right now, those will be also added over here. Okay, so other packages which I have installed, those also been listed under the dependencies. So now what I will do, I will show you what for what purpose I have installed all these packages. So now what I will do is I will make use of the .env.config .env.config. So basically, if you want to make use of the variables from the env over here, then we have to write this as a .env.config. Otherwise, whatever variables that we are declaring inside of the env, we won't be able to use them. Okay, so I will declare my port. Port I will declare as 5000. So if suppose the port is not declared over here, it will take this by default whatever has been declared over here. So whenever we want to make use of the variables from the .env, we have to use them via process.env and the name of the variable. Okay. So I will show you one more example for Mongoose. Just give me some time. And when it comes to the middleware, I will say app.use, and when it comes to the app.use, I will make use of the body parser and body parser dot JSON. Okay, so I will make it the JSON because we are sending the request response in the form of JSON. So that's why we are making use of this. Then I will say app.use, and what else I will be making use of is a course. Okay, so course is basically important because if you are not using the course in the middleware, then you won't be able to access the routes on the front end side. Okay, so if you want to access any sort of API points like posting the data, getting the data, updating, deleting, whatever that is, it won't be possible. For that purpose, we make use of the course, and I will give the name such as the origin, and we can define the localhost of the front end over here, and credentials true. So whatever is localhost at the front end, like localhost 3000 or whatever that is, we can define it over here. Or if we are not sure what will be the port on which our front end will be running, then we can just directly give the value as a true over here. That would work fine. And give the semicolon, and then I will make use of the mongoose. I will say mongoose dot connect, and yeah, this is the by default code which came automatically. Let me just format the document. So as of now, as can be seen over here, the first parameter process.env.mongo URL. Mongo URL you can directly provide over here, but process.env.mongo URL, that means I'm accessing the Mongo URL from URI from the env file. So I will give the Mongo URI over here, which I will do after some time. And this is the these some of the attributes which you have to add, otherwise it will keep on throwing the errors. I forgot. So when it comes to the new URL parsing, so the first option, what we have the new URL parsing. So when it comes to the new URL parsing, this option is basically helps in avoiding the deprecation warning and ensures the compatibility with the latest Mongo connection string format. And next one is use unified topology. So basically, this helps in enable the new unified topology layer in the MongoDB driver. The unified topology layer is significant overhaul of the Mongo driver's internal code that Mongo connect. Okay, there are some of the compatibility like it is resistance and it improves the connection stability and error handling and everything. And next is use create index, which is basically ensures that Mongo's functions uses a MongoDB's create index function instead of the deprecated ensure index. Okay, so these are some of the reasons because of which we make use of these parameters. And with the help of the mongoose.connect, we will be able to connect to the MongoDB to whatever MongoDB connection string which we have provided over here. That's all about this mongoose. And then what we will do is we will go to the Mongo Compass. First of all, you have to install the Mongoose and Mongo Compass. Mongo Compass helps you in getting the better picture and the view of whatever collections of database so what you have. Okay, so this is the Mongoose connection string. We will come over here and we will paste it, and then we will give the name of the database that we want to be created inside of our Mongoose. Okay, so I will give the name as a blog website only, blog website, and I will save it. And instead of localhost, give the actual IP, which is 127.0.0.1 and colon 27017. Yeah. If you're giving the localhost, it will throw the error. It is always better to give the actual IP. And let me just run the code and see. Okay, so code is running fine. Connection no longer accepting the callbacks. Okay, then I will make use of the gen call over here, and I will say console dot log db connected, and then I will make use of the cache, and if there is any error, then I will catch the specific error. Mongoose connection string. Okay, so I was suspicious about this option, and it is not working anyways. Okay, so DB connected and server is running on port 5000, so everything is fine so far. So now what I will do is, this is all about creating the basic application of the Node.js, and now I will show you how to create the model. So when it comes to the models, we will create two models, user model and the post model. Okay, so I will create user.js over here, and inside of this user.js, I will make use of the mongoose, and then I will declare the user schema. I will say constant user schema is equal to new mongoose.schema, and over here I will declare the parameters of my DB. First will be the username, and for the username, type will be string, and it is required, so I will say required is equal to true. And one more parameter is unique. So when it comes to the username should be unique. So I will define that as well. And after that, I want the email, and when it comes to the email, type of the email will be string required is equal to true, and it should be also unique. And the next parameter which I want is password. I will say password over here, and type will be string and required is equal to true because I want this parameter. I will put a semicolon over here, and I will export. I will say export default mongoose model, and I will give the name of the model as a user over here, and this user schema that you have declared, you have to put it over here and close it. So we are done with our user schema, and next will be post. Okay, so I will say post.js, and inside of this post.js I will declare all the parameters of my post. So again, it's almost same. This part will be same, and again, let me just copy paste. I will say name of my schema will be post, and again, instead of the user schema, it will be post schema. I will import it over here, and it will have the title. Type will be string, and require is equal to true. It don't have to be unique, and then I will have the content is another parameter. Type will be string, and required will be true, and the third will be author, and over here the author is basically the user. Okay, so we have to connect this collection of the users to the post. Okay, so when it comes to the user, I will define the type over here as mongoose dot mongoose dot schema dot types dot object ID. Okay, so now we are linking the user's collection to with the author, and we have to give the reference of the collection, and I will give the reference of the user, and then my third parameter will be required is equal to true because author is required. And the next attribute which I will put over here is date, and for date I will give a type as a date, and default will be date now. Required might not be true, it could be empty as well. Okay, so let me just explain some of the parameters over here. So first is first is username. Username is of type string. It is required. It cannot be empty, and it should be unique. Each username should be unique, just like how we put the username for the Instagram. Email should be also unique, and password is basically required, and it is of type string. Okay. So first of all, we have declared this user schema, and this is our user schema, and these are some of its parameters like the username, email, and password. Then we are importing it over here, and this is the name of our collection, which is user collection. Okay. Same way we have done for the post. We have declared the post schema over here. Name of the collection is post, and this is the post schema. Post will basically the title, content, author, and author is basically the user's collection. Okay, it is linked. So we have established the collection. It's like a foreign key you can say over here, and it is required. And date will be of type date, and the default will be date dot now. It is basically the whatever is the current date. So we have declared our model over here. So now we have the routes. I will show you what are these routes and how to define them. So first of all, we will have the two type of the routes, the user routes and the post routes. So I will do one thing. I will come over here and I will say auth.js, and when it comes to the auth.js, I will import express from the express. I will be importing the express first, then I will import bcrypt, which is basically used in order to hash the password, and then I will import the JWT, which is used for carrying out uh, authentication with the token. It is basically for the token purpose, and then what I will do, I will import my user, and the user I will import from the models.user. Okay, so I have already created my user inside of this user.js. I will be importing it. So I will import this specific user collection that is required. Then what I will do, I will declare my route. I will say constant route is equal to express.route, and I will carry out my operation with the help of this route variable. Okay, so I will come over here, and that first route which I will set up is the register route. I will say router dot post, and it is my post route where I'll be registering the user, and this is the async operation, and it will have the request, and it will have the request and the response. So this is my first route. Let me just close it, and now what I will do is I will make it as a try and catch. So whatever method I am trying, if it fails, then we will be jumping inside of the catch block. Okay, so first of all, let me just define, I will say response dot status 500, and whatever is the error, I will send it over here. Okay, so I will be sending that in the response. So first, the block will be executed. If the try block fails, then it will go inside the catch block and it will throw the error. and it will send a response or response as a status 500, and inside of the response it will send a message of the error message. Okay, so this is all about it. So let's just go inside of the try block, and what we will be doing inside of the try block is we will see if the user already exists. Okay, so I will say let user and await user dot user dot find one, and I will find a user with the specific email. Okay, so I will check whether the user is already there. So for that purpose we have to first get the name, email, and the password from the requested body. So this requested body will be sent from the front end, but first we will test it with the help of the postman. Okay, so first of all, I will check if the user is already there, and if the user is there, then we have to raise the or send a response that our user already exists. Okay, so I will say something like if the user is there, if the user is there, then I will return response dot status 400 dot json, and the message will be user already exists. Okay, so I'm making the return statement because I don't want flow to go ahead. I want flow to stop here only, that user already exists, and I don't want rest of the part to be executed. So I'm making the return statement over here. So now what I will do is I will make use of the gen salt. I will say gen salt is equal to with bcrypt dot Gen salt 10. So this is basically for the hashing purpose. So whenever we enter the password, we don't want to save the password the way it is. We want to convert it into the garbage kind of value. Like basically it's a hash password, and so that it is stored in the form of a hash, and nobody is able to decode it. What is the actual password of the user? So we make use of the hash password. So first of all, what we will do? User will create new user, and when it comes to creating the new user, we will pass the username, email, and the password. Okay, so we will create one instance of the user um, with the help of the username, email, and the password that we have cached from the requested body. And after that, whatever is the password, we will be hashing that password. And then what we will do over here is we will say user dot password is equal to hash password. Okay, so this user object what we have created, we want to replace the current password with the hash password. Okay, so we are doing something like the user dot password is equal to hash password. So now instead of the original password, hash password will be stored, and in the database this hash password is basically stored, but during the verification process and all, we again decrypt it. Okay, so over here encryption of the password is happening. Okay, so we are making the bcrypt dot hash. This basically encrypts the password and stores it into inside of the hash password, and this is how we will store the hash password inside of the db instead of the real one. Okay, so then again we will make use of the await, and we'll say the user dot save. So now our user has been saved. So now next part which comes is creating the JWT token. Okay, so for that purpose, we will create one object as a payload, and instead of that, we have the user as a key, and again it is having the object as a value, and instead of this, again the key as ID and the value as a user dot ID. Okay, so we are basically now creating the payload. So this payload is related to the token which will be generated with the help of the JWT token. So now I will make use of the JWT. I will say JWT dot sign in, and inside when it comes to signing in process, the first part which goes is the payload, and second is JWT secret. Okay, so you have to declare this JWT secret inside of the env, and this could be any value. Okay, so whatever value you want to keep, you can keep it over here. This goes the second parameter, and you can specify the expiry over here. So this is in terms of seconds, I guess. You can give it in terms of the days also. Okay. And this is my second parameter. And when it comes to JWT sign in function, it has two parts, error and token. Okay. So if error, it will throw the error, and if not error, it will return this token, like whatever is the token that has been generated. So this is all about the registration process. So once the user has been registered, the user data will be stored inside of the database, and user token will be generated, and this token is sent as a response. So that's all about this route. And now when it comes to the making use of this route, so how I will import this route. So I will go to my index.js, and inside of this index.js I will be importing this route. So I will say route, and I'll say import auth route from my route folder, and inside the route folder we have this auth.js. Okay, so now my auth route has been imported, and now I want to make use of this route. So what I will do, I will copy this. I will come down to, let me just format this document. Okay, so over here I will say app dot use, and I want to make use of this route. So this is my path, basically the forward slash API forward slash auth, and I will give the name of my route. Okay, so I will save this. App has crashed for what particular reason? Bcrypt. Okay, so Bcrypt has not been installed, so I will do the npm I bcrypt because I want to make use of the Bcrypt for you. Okay, so this npm I bcrypt is not working. So sometimes due to some issues in the repository or whatever is the thing, sometimes we might face the difficulty in installing the package. So that time we can make use of the force flag. So force flag basically it will forcefully install the package even if there are any errors and all. So this is a bit risky, but you can do it sometimes if the things are not working fine. So I will be making use of the force flag over here. So this should basically install the bcrypt. Let me just go to the auth.js. Still it is not working. I have to figure out why it is not working. Okay, so there is the spelling mistake. It's bcrypt.js instead of the bcrypt. Okay, so now I think everything should work fine. Now again something crashed. JWT. Okay, so the name is JSON web token. So I think now everything should work fine, I guess. There. we have not exported this, so I have to do the export default, and name of the function is the router. Okay, so this should work fine. Okay, so it is working fine now. So our port is running on localhost 5000. So I will go to localhost 5000. Let me just connect to my MongoDB. So as of now, as can be seen, there is this collection that has been created. We just run the postman. So we create a new collection, and the collection will be blog website over here, and I will add a request. So first of all, I will give this the localhost API auth register. So this is the path that I have given, which is API auth. Then whatever is localhost, I need to specify the path, which is API auth, and I want to register the user. Okay. So when it comes to the route, I have specified as a post request, and the name of this route is basically register, which I have given over here, register. Then you have to click on this body, then raw, and select this JSON over here. And method is post, as can be seen over here is the post method, and it will take three parameters from the body, which is name, email, and password. Okay, so first is basically the name, second is email, and third is password. Okay, so I will give the name as Akshay, and second Akshay at gmail.com, and this is my password, and I will hit. So username is not defined. Okay, so the parameters for username. Okay, so username, email, and a password. So it's not name, sorry, it's a username. So I will come to my route, and it's a username actually. I will come over here and I will hit the request. And as can be seen as a response, I'm getting the token. Okay, so as can be seen, since the request has been executed successfully, I got the response status as my token as a response has been sent. So this is successful. And if I go to the blog website and the users collection, and if I refresh, you can see the one entry over here, username is Akshay, email, and this is the password. Okay, so this is the first route, and then I will create one more route over here for registration purpose. So I will come down below and I will say router dot post, and route will be the login over here, and I will carry out the async operation, and it will have the request response. And now when it comes to the taking the parameters, it will take the email and password from the request of body. Then I will do the try and catch I will implement the try and catch method over here. And if there is error, we should throw the error. And so if suppose the try block fails, it will go to the catch block, and catch block will send a response rate status 500. And this will be the this I mean inside of the JSON response. So as can be seen in this request, the response what I got over here, this is the JSON kind of response, and I got my token as a key, and the value is the token value. Okay, so this is in the JSON form. This is also in the JSON form. Okay, so this is the format of the JSON data. So now what I will do is when it comes to the login in, I will check whether the user already exists. Okay, so I will say let a user is equal to await user dot find one email. So this what this line is actually doing is it will this is a async operation. Okay, so async and await, it will always goes in hand in hand. So it will go to the users collection, and it will make you the find one. It will go and find whether the email already exists. Okay, so if the email already exists, then we have to notify the user that user already exists. Okay, so if the user does not exist, then user has to register. Okay, so if the user, it will go and find whether the user with the same email exists. If not, if the user does not exist, then it will return the response as the response status 400, and in the JSON it will give the message the user does not exist. If the user does not exist, that means you have to go and register first. Okay, so then what it will do, I mean, if it has found the user is there, then it will try to match the password. Okay, so I will check whether user password matches. So I will again make you the await keyword, and I will make it the bcrypt.compare. It will compare the password that has been entered by the user in the uh, request body, and user.password is basically the encrypted password, which is basically this password. Okay, this garbage kind of value, this is the hash password what you see. It will compare if it is matching or not, and if it is not matching, if the password is not matching, then we will display the message as a invalid credential. Okay, so we have to tell the user that whatever credentials that has been passed by the user is not correct. Then what we will do next is payload. Okay, so I will say the constant payload. This is the object which we are creating, and inside of the user attribute, we are passing this value is another object having the attribute as a id and the value as a user.id. Okay, so this is the payload what we are creating. So this is just like how we have created payload while the registering. Okay, so it's the same process. So we will again use the jwt.sign-in. First we will go the payload and then the jwt secret, and this is the expiration time of our token. So after how much of time it will expire. Okay, so if I give the value as 5,000 over here, that means after 5 seconds it will expire. So just calculate how much does this how much is the time. Okay, so this is a 36,000, I guess. No, more than 36,000. So yeah, so this is how we can give the timing of expiry of our JWT token. And once the user has been signed in, it will give the token back. Okay, so what I will do, this is my register request. I will do one thing. I will save it and I will duplicate, and instead of register, I will say the login, and now I will be hitting this route. Okay, so I'm trying to log in, which will have the email and password. I will give the same credentials that I have given during the registration process, and over here now username is not required. Okay, so I will try to send a request, and since the credentials are matching, which is the email and password, that's why I got a token. If suppose credentials were wrong and I was trying to hit, it is saying the invalid credentials. Okay, so we have to make sure that credentials are not invalid, and if the email is not there, email is not matching, this akshay1 at gmail.com is not there in the database. Now if I hit this, it will say user does not exist, so it has exited from here only, because it went in the database and it tried to check whether the user email is present or not, but user email is not present, so that's why it has returned that the user does not exist. Okay, so we have properly taken care of the user credentials. So now we got this token back. So this is the first route of how to register the user and how to log in. So the next route is of the post. So what I will do is I will create one more route over here, and I will give the name of the route as the post.js, and inside of this post.js I will be again writing the routes or to how to handle the post. Okay, so I will import Express first, and then I will import my post from the post.model, and then after that I will create one variable router, and I will be declaring it with the express.router. So this is how we declare the routes. So now when it comes to the creating the post, first I will create the post, and for creating the post I will say router.post. I will just give the forward slash, and then I will make use of my async operations. So async operation over here, and we will take the request and the response as two parameters. And when it comes to the post will have the two properties, which is title and the content. So I will say title comma content is equal to request dot body. I will take these parameters from the body, and then I will make use of my try and catch. Why it is highlighting these as a red. Okay, so if there is any error message, it will throw the error message, and inside of the try block, I will try to create a new post. I will say constant new post is equal to new post, and inside of this, I will specify my new post. First will be title, second will be content, and third will be the author. And author is basically my request.user, and I will pass its ID. So for this purpose, we have to create the middleware. So middleware is basically used to validate the token and everything. So first of all, what I will do, I will go to my middleware, and I will create auth.js, and inside of this, I will import JWT from JSON web talk, and I will declare the constant auth is equal to, it will take the request response on the next request response on the next. So first, what I will do, I will try to authenticate. I will make use of the authentication header, and for that purpose, I will say request dot header over here, and from the request dot header, I will try to grab the authorization. Okay, authorization. So I will try to get my authorization token, and if it is not there, then I will return from here only, and I will say response dot status 401, no token or no token provided, or the authorization denied kind of error I will throw. But if suppose we have the authorization header, then I will try to get my token. I will say authorization header dot split at space, and I will try to access the second parameter. So okay, so I will tell you what is this first parameter, what is the second parameter, and there is if there is no token, then I will say no token provided, a kind of error I will throw. Okay. So first of all, we have to check out for all this entire flow, and then again I will make use of the try and catch over here. So if there is any error, then I will say the token is not valid, and if the token is valid, then it will carry out this process. So first of all, I will say constant decoded. So it will decode the token that has been provided. For decoding purpose, I will use a JWT.verify. So when verify, first of all, the first parameter we will pass is the token which we have withdrawn. The second is a JWT secret. Okay, so once it has been decoded, it will have the credentials that we have passed over here inside of this payload. Okay, so it will have these particular credentials. So now I will come over here and decoded.id. I will get the uh, ID, and I will pass it to the request.user ID. Okay, and once request.user ID has been set up, it will return next. It will return next in the sense it will proceed further. So it will have the request, response, and the next. So it is having this next part because we will be using it as a middleware. Okay. So during the login process, we will be making use of it. So now I will go to my post, and during the posting process, we will make sure that only the authenticated user are able to create the post. Okay, so for that purpose, we will use this middleware. So in order to make use of this middleware, we have to import it. I will say import auth, and I will import it from the middleware, not this place, middleware and on.js. Okay, so I've imported it, and I have to make sure that whenever the user tries to create the post, the user has been authenticated. So I will put it over here. Okay, so this will make sure that only the authenticated users are able to create the wait a minute, why it is not coming over here. Okay, so we have forgotten to export it. So export default auth. As long as we are not exporting it from here, we won't be able to make use of it inside of the any of the file. Okay, so I've exported over there, and then I will import it and put it over here at the middleware. Okay, so now when it comes to the creating the post, we have to validate whether the user is been authenticated, then only they will be able to create the post. Okay, so now once this has been done, now what I will do is I will come over here and then I will say constant post is equal to await new post dot save. Okay, so I will save this post, and whatever post I will saved, I will send it as a response. Okay, so I will say response or status 201. 201 is for created, and instead of the JSON, I will send whatever post that has been created. Okay, but for this purpose, we have to import this route, and for that purpose, I will go inside of my index.js, and I will say app dot use, and instead of the auth I will say post, and I will come over here and I will say import post route from route.post, and I will copy this and paste it over here. Okay, so it's working fine, I guess. Something has crashed. Let me see. Cannot find point. Route.post. Okay, something is crashing. Okay, again I forgot to export it. I will come over here and I will export this route. This error should go now. Can I find the module? Okay, so it is working now. So what I will do, I will try to create one post. So I will come over here, I will copy my route. So it's basically the post. There is nothing ahead of that, and now let me just go to my post, and it will take the title content, body of the first post, and I will try to hit it. No token provided. Okay, so now over here we have to provide a token because it will throw the authorization error. So now as can be seen, we have put this authentication of the token. So token has been not provided, so it is saying no token has been provided. So over here we have to provide the authorization. Okay, so authorization we can provide by going over here authorization, and select the bearer token over here. Okay, and during the login time, whatever token that you get, just copy it, and this route is basically to create a post. Okay, so we have to provide it over here. Done. So now I will try to hit it. So cannot read the property of the undefined. Cannot read the property of the undefined trading ID. Okay, so we will just try to digital. Okay. I think the error is over here. It's we have to set the request.user as a decoded.user. Okay, so we have to set this variable which we were not setting up. We were setting up the wrong credentials. Okay, so our first post has been created over here. So let me just tell you what is going on over here. Okay, so when it comes to the authorization we can set like this also. Okay, so if we go to the this, we can set the key as a authorization, and value is basically the bearer, and after that we uh, we give the space over here, and then we paste the token. Okay, so what actually is happening in this tab makes our process really very easy and simple. We just have to uh, select this bearer token and paste the token over here. But initially we used to do it this way. We give the key as authorization, then we used to give the bearer space and the token. Okay, so for that purpose, what is going on over here is it is to this parameter is to take the key from there, from the headers, and after that, what we have to do, we have to do the authorization dot split on the space. Okay, so we are given the space, and after splitting this, so this is the first part, this is at the zeroth index, this is at the first index. Okay, our token is on the first index over here. Okay, so we want a token. So for that purpose, we split at the empty space and access the second part, which is on the uh, one index. Okay, so on the zeroth index, we will have this bearer part, and on the first index, we will have this token part. Okay, this is how we are accessing our token, and we are getting a token, and then we are decoding it, and whatever is the content of it we are setting it to the request.user. Okay, so request.user will be basically the nothing but this request user. Okay, so this is how we are setting the request user, and then the requested user, only the user, after the user has been authenticated, then only the user can create the post. So that's why we are putting that authorization over here at the middleware. So this is how we can create the post, and then we have is getting all the post. So now I will create one more route, but all the post over here. So I will do something like the router dot get, and then I will again make use of slash. It is not required. This is the async operation over here. I will make it the arrow function. So that's why I will remove that, and my function has been declared. Then again I will make use of the try and catch, and if there is any error, I will display the error, and instead of the try, I will do something like the constant post is equal to, I will do the await, I will do the post dot find, and then I will make use of the populate. Okay, so when it comes to the populate, I will populate on the author parameter, and from the author, I want to get the username. Okay, so I want the username. Okay, so this is how I will be getting my post, and I will save this. I will duplicate this method, and instead of create post, I will do the get post. Let me just see it and see. Okay, so this will give me the list of the posts which I have in the DB. Okay, if there are like two posts, it will give me the two posts. So now let me just tell you what I have done over here when it comes to the populate. So when it comes to the post.find, I mean it will give me the all the posts. Then I want to populate based on the author and the username. Okay, so when it comes to the populating based on the author will basically have the ID and the username. I want the username. Okay, so I want the flow to go something like the author and then username, which is basically if suppose we are not populating, then it will only give me the ID. Okay, so let me just show you the refresh this, and there is a post. Okay, so now as can be seen, there is a title, content, and author. Okay, so author's details are not there. Author's only ID will be there. But I want author's details. So that's why I want to populate this property. I have to populate the author and I want to get the username. Okay. So inside of the user, we have this username and the email. If we do something like populate in terms of the email, let me see whether it is possible or not. So as of now, I'm under the author, I'm getting the ID and the username. But now if I just hit it again, now I'm getting the email also because I have specified that on the author key, I want the username and the email also. Okay, so this is how we can use the populate. If you're not populating, we will just get we'll just get ID like this. Okay, but we want the author's detail. So that's why we are populating it like this. Okay, but if you want a username, email, and let me see what parameters users are having. If you want a username, email, password also, you can do that also, but this is not advisable. Wait, let me just plug in the charger. So this is how we can populate and get the required details what we want. So this is all about creating the users and the post. And over here we are done with the backend. And in the next tutorial, I will show you how to create the front end and how to integrate the backend with the front end. Okay, so that's all for this tutorial, guys. Thanks for watching.